Hey, welcome back, podcast friends. And we thought, my wife and I thought that maybe in today's episode, since we're kind of in the season of giving right here around the holidays, we thought that this would probably be a really good time to kind of talk to you, similar to the podcast we've given back in episode 50 and 52, talking about goals and gifts. And in this one, we want to talk about one of the best gifts that you could probably give to yourself is giving your future self a gift. And so that's what we're going to be talking about through this podcast is giving your future self a gift.
Right. And so my coach, Brooke Castillo, she talks about your future self all the time. And I really like the way that she talks about it because it's the same as goals. So we set goals for our future. But everything that we do and that Steve and I talk about on this podcast is how we think to ourselves and how we talk to ourselves. And I really like the future self, kind of talking to yourself that way because it really makes you think about your future self. So the importance of our thoughts, I'm going to go over it again. So our thoughts, they create our feelings and our feelings control our actions. And then that's the results that we get. And so if we want different results, so if our health is the same as it has been for the past 10 years, or actually it would be the same, it's worse if you aren't doing anything towards it. So we need to do some different things if we want to change that. And the thing to do differently is to change our thoughts. And so it's so important that we have a really good relationship with ourselves because we kind of beat ourselves up all the time because we aren't reaching our goals or making our future self, or thinking about our future self.
Yeah, in fact, we spend a lot of time when we think about ourselves, we think about our past selves. And that's really what you don't want to do. I mean, it's just like she said, as far as your thoughts control your feelings, which control your actions, control your results. The other thing that happens is that when you think back about your past, you can learn from your past very easily if that's all you do is give thought to it. But when you look back on your past and you get a thought and then you put feeling to it, that shifts you out of where you want to be for the future because now it pulls you, sucks you into the past. And with a lot of people with their health, when they're think about their past, it's usually not good. They usually say things like, I can't lose weight and I can't keep it off, or you say, I've never been able to stick with anything. I've never been able to stick with workouts. And you keep thinking those negative thoughts, and those do no good. Those, in fact, they do a lot of harm. So when you think about your past, don't give any feeling, just give some thought of where you would like for it to go in the future.
And, one of the ways you can think, it's really kind of hard because Brooke, my coach, she talks about writing letters to yourself, which we've never done that part of this, which I'm sure it's really good. But
Yeah, and we've actually heard a lot of people do it,
yeah,
and it makes sense. It
your
just we personally
future
haven't done it
self
yet.
writes you can have your future self write you a letter to your present self. So it's the same as goal setting. It's just a different way of looking at it. And then, of course, writing things down is always very helpful. But if I guess it's really easy if you want to look back at your past. So this is really a simple thing to do. So if you look back at your past, let's say this time last year, or maybe January of 2023, you are like, I am doing it this year. I'm going to get on this program. I'm going to lose the weight and be healthy. So here we are, end of 2023 during the holidays, and you're probably looking back, not everybody, but a lot of you are looking back and you're realizing, oh man, if I just would have stuck to it, I'd be there. I would have lost the weight. I would already be there. And now all I have to do is just maintain. And so that's why. So if you look back, it's super easy to tell us what we should have done in the past. So now we want to look to the future and figure out how can we talk to ourselves in the future tense.
Right. So just like look today, if you really look at right now and you look 1 year ago today, I'm sure there were some New Year's resolutions that you get, and maybe it was on health, and you did not stick to it. So what would you do now? What would you tell that yourself last year? What would you have told yourself to do? What's something you do? And now that's what you're doing. You're thinking, well, if you didn't stick to that goal last year, then you need to tell yourself, what could you have done last year that would make you have reached your goal this year? And that's what you want to do. Think about next year and give yourself the gift today on coming up with a good plan, a good, easy plan. So this year you really will keep your New Year's resolution, especially if it's something like keeping yourself healthy. So that's what we want you to do is think of last year, think of now, and think of next year, and think of how you can change things like that. And the biggest thing is does not have to be a huge change. We'll do this in little bitty, very, very manageable, very, very easy change. In fact, we want you to have the kind of goal that when you tell somebody this is your goal for this year, they're going to say, really? Is that all you're doing? That's exactly the kind of response you want, because it's these little bitty goals that start giving you momentum for a little bit more goals and then more goals. And so many people actually, they self-sabotage because they say, oh my gosh, I need to fix all these things. And so they try to do all of it at once, knowing that there's no way they're going to make all these changes at one time. And then they get overwhelmed and they stop and they didn't accomplish any of them. That's what we don't want you to do. We want you to make one specific goal, and then we like to help you make little goals to help you achieve that.
Yeah. You want to talk
about?
Yeah. So anyway, so just kind of back to, like, if you tell yourself what you should have done back then, and it is those one simple little steps that you would take. So just like, oh, if I only would have given up sugar sweetened beverages. If I just would have done that one thing, look where you would be now. You would even be farther ahead, because then you would have stacked something else on top of that. And we all know how fast a year goes by. I mean, I just think this is incredible. It's already the end of 2023.
Yes.
So the time is going to pass. And so you might as well be doing something that's going to give you self-confidence, going to give you discipline, which is what you want. This is what's going to make you a happier, more satisfied person.
And when you find yourself looking back on the past and thinking about this, if you find yourself saying, why bother? Well, why bother? I never stick to anything. I said it last year and I didn't stick to it. I'll say it this year and I'm not going to stick to it. That's the worst way you could think of it. Think of it. I said it last year and I didn't stick to it. So now I know that what I did last year is not going to get me there this year. So this year I need to think of a different way to be able to stick to it. And that's what we want to help you. So, and this could be anything. I mean, when you think of your future self, what do you want to do? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to get off of medications? Do you want to prevent yourself from being put on medications because your doctor says that you need to be putting on a statin and you need to be put on some diabetes medications, or you need to be put on blood pressure medicine? This is your time to say, no, I do not want another medication. I don't want any medications. In fact, I want to get off of these. And if you've listened to my podcast, you can get off of these because it is the nutrition you put in your mouth. So that's the goal that you need to say. Do not worry about setting a goal for next year of, I'm going to exercise every single day and I'm going to exercise, 1 to 2 hours every day or whatever. Please. The reason, if you've listened to my podcast, our podcast, what we don't talk about is very much is exercise and working out. We are firm believers in it. We love it. We do it ourselves. And when you start losing the weight, you will have more energy and you will want to start exercising. However, what we have found is that most people, especially if you're obese, you like to use exercise as an excuse not to get healthy. You like to say, I don't know how to work out. I don't have the time to work out. I don't have the money to work out. I don't have the equipment to work out. I don't have the knowledge to work out, yada, yada, yada. All these excuses that you give to yourself for why you can't make this goal that you made for yourself.
Right.
It's self-sabotage, and you don't want to do that. And when you find out that really, if you want to get off medications, if you want to get healthy, if you want to lose weight, it all comes down to one simple little thing, not necessarily easy, but simple. And that is figure out and control exactly what you eat. What do you put in your mouth? And even as far as that goes, you can break that down even into little smaller ones. And that's what we'll talk about towards the end of this podcast.
And so that just goes back to the discipline that you want to have. And I like one of the things that she had said was thinking of yourself as a priority. I mean, who thinks of themselves as a priority? It's like it's a selfish thing to do. When it's not, it's the best thing that you can do. Because when you treat yourself better and you respect yourself, you do that same thing to the other people in your life, which is probably what you're doing is you're putting yourself on the back burner so you can take care of the other people in your life. So you need to make yourself a priority.
Exactly like they say on when you're going on a flight, when you're on the airplane. That's why you don't, if there's trouble and your oxygen mask breaks down and you've got a child with you, your initial instinct, initially, you've got to get oxygen on your child. You don't want anything to happen to your child. And as you're sitting there giving your child oxygen, now you die because you didn't give yourself oxygen. And now nobody's taking care of the child. And now it dies as well. As morbid as that is, that's really what's going on. That's why it is not being selfish to take care of yourself first, because once you take care of yourself, you're going to have so much more in you to be able to help others. And you'll find you're going to help other people that you don't even know you're helping. They're just going to see you and they're going to see what you did. And maybe they'll come up and even ask you. And that's when you really get supercharged thinking, oh my gosh, I did it. I set the discipline for myself. I did it. And now other people are noticing it. And now I can help them as well. Because once you set the discipline on this, you're going to be able to have more discipline for yourself and other goals. And it just keeps getting better and better.
Right. And so I think we talked about the paying the mortgage. We have those things that we automatically do, right? To take care of our future self. We talk about, we pay our mortgage. We put money into our 401k. Possibly we put money into savings. And this is all for our future. It's for our future selves. Well, most people do these things, we hope. So, but they don't think about their health because they're so busy thinking about those things. Now, and that's why what's nice about those things is that they're automatic. And so at the beginning of this, it's going to be challenging for you to change and to do even just one little step. And so I know that, it's like we talk about working out and all these different things, and it's hard to do, especially when you very first get started. And I heard someone say the other day on the podcast that his future self had better appreciate what he is doing because he really did not feel like doing it at all. And I think that's so great because I know Steve and I, we could sit and talk ourselves out of working out every day, all day. I mean, we just try and not let ourselves do that anymore. And I really like the thought of my future self is going to be so proud of me. My future self is going to be proud of me next year because I did this. And my future self, that's even in an hour, will be proud of me.
Right, exactly. Because in the past, and like I said, this is not about working out, but yes, we do work out. Both of us work out, and we love it. However, we don't enjoy it at the time. It's going to be hard. You're going to be breathing hard. You're going to be lifting heavy weights. When I do it, I may even go and do some dry heaving. I mean, that's how crazy I get on this. But what we've found is in the last every year, right around Thanksgiving, no matter if we've been working out really well all through the year, right around Thanksgiving, for some reason, I will stop working out. I stop lifting. And I have all kinds of reasons why that is, because there's all kinds of holiday parties and getting together with friends and getting family with family and going and shopping for everybody and yada, yada. I was so busy, no time to work out. And then all of a sudden January comes. I was like, holy moly. I just went 6-7 weeks without lifting a single weight. Now I'm mad at myself. It's like, this is so stupid. I do this every single year. Don't do that this year. Let's, and I've got to back all my weights off. And then I have to sit there and have to start building up my muscle again. Because if you're used to working out and you stop for 6 weeks and you go back, you are not going to be lifting the same amount that you were, when you stopped. So this year, and this really is mine, this year, my goal is to continue to work out all the way from Thanksgiving to New Year's, and not to stop there, but just that now when January 1st comes, now I can feel proud of myself. I did it. I did something that I haven't done in any of the years past. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm going to have to do is figure out, okay, what's the best way to do it? What little thing can I do? What thought process? And that's usually what it is. It's a thought process. How can I change the way I think so that my future self of only 2 months from now, January 1st, or not even 2 months now, yeah. Mm-hmm. On January 1st, now I'm happy with myself instead of being irritated with myself. And that's kind of what you want to do it with all your goals. Make little bitty time frame goals, even just daily. What am I going to do today that's going to work? And then tomorrow, what am I going to do today? And think of just little bitty things that'll keep you on the track for your future self to be proud of yourself.
Yeah. And I had heard Alex Hormozy say this. He's on social media, and he was talking about goal setting, and he was saying that everybody always has an excuse, just like our excuse through the holidays. Oh, we're so busy, we're tired, we're up later than normal. So we have all of these excuses because, and this is what everybody wants to do, is they want to start everything January 1st, right? After the holidays. Well, he says, what if you could start your goals while you are busy, while you are super busy? What if you could do that? Because then when things slow down a little bit, because things will slow down, and then things are always, then later something will happen and you're busy again. But if you could start some goals, even the little, especially the little bitty tiny ones, if you can start those while you're busy, how are you going to be whenever you're not busy? You're going to be right on it. It's going to be very easy for you to keep going. And so I like, so that's really a big thing too for us right now.
Yep.
It's like, we're busy, we're busy just like everybody else is through the holidays. And even, this is what we talk about is health and taking care of yourself. And we even, come the holidays, we struggle with it as well. So that's why we're going to do this right now.
Right. And the best way to set little goals and not be bad mouthing yourself is look back over your past goals of things that you've already done, major things that you've already done, like getting married or having kids, raising kids, getting a college degree, some kind of a job that you may have gotten that you really worked really hard for and you got it. Your house, you bought a house, whatever. Everybody has different things that they've done in the past that's made them just a little bit more happy with themselves now than they were in the past.
Right.
And so you need to keep that going. Keep doing little things that make you happy with yourself to keep giving you that momentum to keep going forward.
Just don't beat yourself up over the past. That's why it's like, look at your past. What are the great things you've done in your past? We never do that. We never look at our past and think, oh, I did all these wonderful things. No, I should have done this. I should have done that. So we don't want to do that anymore. So that your future self will love you more.
Let's see. The other thing that we really want to make sure that you knew is and we kind of talked about this, back in episode 50 and 52, but when you make your goals, make these goals very, very small, very, very achievable for you. You are not cheating by making simple goals. All you're doing is making it easy for you to gain momentum towards your big major goal. And this can be in a bunch of different ways. I mean, you could just automatically just start out saying, okay, the one thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to have any sugar sweetened beverages through this entire holiday. When I go to eat, when I'm at a party or something and somebody has this, I'm going to drink water or unsweet tea or unsweet coffee. Mm-hmm. But if that's all you do is cut out all sugar sweetened beverages throughout this holiday, that would be great. If you've already done that, then maybe you can say something like, I'm going to cut out all sugar, anything that has sugar or anything that has white flour, white rice, white sugar, any of these things. So it all depends on where you are. But no matter where you are, what is something towards your health that you would really love to see happen for your future? And then of that, along that path, what thing are you doing right now that you could very easily stop through the holidays and you already know that it would make you feel so much better? Because what we want, and we're wanting to start a group through the holidays also to help people maintain this. And we don't even want you to don't try to lose weight through the holidays. Just don't gain. If you can just go without gaining weight, you're going to be way ahead of the majority of people, because this holiday season is usually when most people start gaining their 5 to 10 to 15, 20 pounds a year. Most of that occurs over this time period. So this is no little thing. This is as big as oxygen dropping out of the ceiling of a plane. This is your health. You just don't notice it because oxygen falling or a plane crashing, that's something that happens quick. And your health is something that happens very, very slowly over time. But once it starts breaking down, if you're already on blood pressure medicine, diabetes medicine, cholesterol medicine, any of these things, this is something that you've been working on for the last 10, 20, 30 years. But now you've already taken care of damage in your organs. And now you're going to see it really start getting worse. And that's just the way it is. That's the way the body is. And then the more medication you get put on, the more medication you're going to get put on, because all medications have adverse effects. So the best thing you can do for your health is not be on medications and take care of this with your nutrition. And that's why we want to do this at this time of the year when most people do that. In fact, a good friend of mine, Tim Bro, had sent me a thing and said that he was walking, I think, through a mall, and he saw an extremely obese man in a wheelchair, young man, and he was wheeling his wheelchair, and he wore a t-shirt that said, "Sorry, I can't. I have something planned with my couch." That is so sad to me, because that means that somebody has looked at their health. They know they're unhealthy. And instead of trying to set just tiny, tiny little goals to get them into a better health situation, they make jokes, because this is a very common thing. You make fun of it. Oh, I may be this isn't a, I may not have a six pack, but I've got a keg, or whatever people say. It doesn't matter. This is not a laughing matter. This isn't something to make a joke about. And if you're making a joke about your health, about your being unhealthy, that should clue you in that you really need to change that thought and start thinking about goals. But you've got to do tiny goals. Don't make all these massive goals that you're never going to stick with, or you totally defeat the purpose. And goals are so important, because that's how you enjoy life. That's how you feel good about yourself, when you say you're going to do something and then you do it. And that just gives you momentum to do it again. Now I'm going to do something bigger, and then you do it, and you just keep on going. But it all starts with that very, very first step, the very first today. So,
yeah.
What?
So be sure that throughout the holiday season, we want you to remember the most important gift that you will give is the gift of health to your future self. And it's such a wonderful gift that you can give. And it not only is it going to be given to you, but you're going to be giving that on to the people that are around you, because you will become a better person.
Yes. And that's what we want. We truly want you feeling good about yourself, feel proud of yourself. And when you do, you will attract other people around you who are also having that same feeling of feeling good about themselves. They also set goals. They also achieve goals. And all together, you'll just start getting better and better and better, because now you're attracting people that can help you to stick to your goals as well. Please try this. You will be amazed, if you've never done this before, how setting tiny, tiny goals and achieving them, how much that makes you feel so good. We don't want you getting to the end of your life, and like we've said in many of these podcasts from Tony Robbins, shooting all over yourself. I should have done this. I should have done that. Quit shooting all over yourself. Set tiny goals that are going towards a major goal that you want to do. Feel proud about yourself. And if you have any questions, please get a hold of us, and we would love to help you out. So is there anything else you got to say? Okie dokie. That's all we've got for today then. And we hope you like this, and we hope you start setting some goals, and we'll do some more podcasts that will kind of help you along those ways in the future. So for now, thank you so much for listening, and have a great week. And remember, make simple, healthy choices to live a quality life.